So in certain circumstances, this is a question.
Sure, fine.
Okay, if you know that eating meat is damaging your soul, so you give up eating meat just so that you respect the life of the animal, but in your soul still you haven't got the utter truth of that, but you know, no, I'm not going to eat meat. So you can use your willpower, which is intellectual still, and it hasn't gone down to the will. So that's a good willpower.
How is willpower any time good? I don't understand why you think this way. Like, let's look at this question. You're saying, here's 100% perfect with regard to love when it comes to eating meat, which is having a feeling inside of me that I don't want to kill animals, and I don't want other people to kill animals, and I don't want to harm my body by eating killed animals and all these kind of things. These are all feelings. So that's and 100% feeling person who feels everything about that and has resolved all of those things about that, and also has resolved the feeling that says, I need my mummy's approval by eating meat. My mummy is going to disapprove of me eating meat. So I would have also had to resolve that feeling. Do you understand? Because that's one of the driving forces of why half of us ate meat in the first place, because mummy and daddy wanted us to. Or mummy and daddy felt that if we just had a vegetarian or a vegetable diet, that we wouldn't be able to survive. So that's all about their belief systems. We'd have to have released all of them too, right? That's 100% feeling person would have got to that place with regard to eating meat. Let's say we're eating meat right here. We're actually eating meat at the moment, right? So we're not very loving on this issue. We're not loving to God because it's against God's laws. We're not loving to our own soul. It damages the souls of others because I'm asking them to slaughter my meat for me in most cases. So therefore I'm participating in the damage of the soul of others, right? So, and a lot of them are unaware of that, but I'm actually doubling up my sin by asking them to do it. So you'd be better off killing it yourself. Yeah. That's a better condition of love than you would be asking other people to kill it for you. Yeah. Does that make sense? Yeah. Right? But what we need to be careful of is this place here is loving. Every other place on this sliding scale is unloving.
Okay.
Every other place.
Okay, so
me eating meat, if I'm eating meat, that's unloving. If I stop eating meat, but I only do it using my willpower, that's unloving. Right?
Yep.
Using willpower. If I stop eating meat using my will in one direction because I don't want to harm animals, I realise that I'm harming animals, and I actually have a soul-based recognition that I'm harming animals, and that's the reason why I stopped eating meat, that's still unloving.
Really?
Yeah. Because I'm not realising I'm harming a lot more than animals.
Oh, yeah.
I'm harming myself, I'm harming other people's soul by asking them to slaughter meat for me, and I haven't gone through any of those emotions. So I'm still unloving, right? So let's look at all of this. These are degrees of unlovingness that are improving, are they not?
Yes.
Right? But they're still unloving. And what's the definition of sin? Any unloving thought, word, or deed. So if you've stopped eating animals because you knew you were harming animals, but you've had no other emotional realizations about eating of meat, then you're still being unloving because you still haven't realized all the things that were involved when you ate meat. Do you understand?
Yeah, I do. Yeah.
So you're asking me, what are the degrees of unloving? Sure, there are degrees of unloving. It's like yesterday when Ella asked a question about, is she harming her child by not loving him? Yes, but if she murdered him, that would even be worse, right? Obviously, there's degrees of unlovingness, but it's all unloving, and therefore it's all
sin.
And you don't see it that way. You know what you often want from me? You want me to say, but I've stopped eating meat. And I go, yes, so? You still have the viewpoint in you that you weren't harming any other person on the planet when you ate it.
No.
So the reality is I still feel that emotion in you that's still there, which is I was innocent of harming anybody when I ate meat. And that's not true.
Yeah.
You've harmed the environment, you've
Yes.
harmed heaps of other animals, not just the animals you killed. You know, if you think about it, we've not only harmed the animals we killed, we also harmed every animal that we had to destroy the environment of in order to grow the animals that we killed. Yeah. And hardly any of us have given that any thought. Right? So this is still indicating that there's unloving emotions within us, right? And therefore there are still thoughts, words and deeds that we've taken that are out of harmony with love on that subject, even though we've stopped eating meat. And the problem for many of us is we go, I've stopped eating meat, I'm much more loving. Okay, hang on a sec. You can stop eating meat and still have all of these emotions in you. That doesn't prove anything. It just proves that you're less unloving, right? In other words, you're a little bit more loving than you were last time. That's all it proves. Does that make sense?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's still sin, and it's going to remain sin until this happens. Until we have dealt with all of those emotions and we're 100% loving, now we're not sinning. That's how it works. And you know what most of us want? Most of us want some feedback system that goes something like this. At least I've stopped doing the most unloving thing. That's like a murderer coming to me and saying, at least I've stopped murdering, give me some credit. But he still feels like murdering, and he's still angry all the time, and he's still violent all the time, and he still rapes people, and he still does other things, but he wants some credit because he stopped murdering. And that's what most of us are like. We want some credit for the thing that we dropped, the unloving thing, as if we've done some wonderful thing by dropping one unloving thing but still retaining all the others.
So you're saying that I'm in facade then as well?
Sorry?
By not eating meat, I'm in facade?
Of course, if you're not eating meat and you haven't started to address a lot of these things, you still have a facade about some of those things, obviously.
Yes, obviously I do.
Obviously.
Yeah.
Yep. So the key is to recognise that and go, okay, while I have stopped an unloving action, which is a very good thing. So I'm not saying stopping an unloving action is bad. I'm saying stopping something that's unloving, stopping a serious sin, and eating meat is not a serious sin compared to many of the other sins you engage, right, on a daily basis.
I know.
But we stop eating meat, right, and so we've stopped a sin that's quite serious, has a detrimental effect to other people, the planet, lots of other things that we're now contributing something more beneficially towards. But that doesn't mean that we've resolved this issue. And you've got to stop thinking you've resolved the issue just by changing the behaviour, because you haven't. You haven't. You need to go through some feelings in order to really stop the issue in your soul. Does everyone get that? Yeah? Have you not considered that before? That it was all like degrees of unlovingness? Isn't it interesting how we often ignore all of these degrees of unlovingness and we want somebody to just say to us, but I'm being more loving, give me some credit. Right?
So all the deforestation and everything around as well, so we still have to feel for all of that that's gone on.
Yeah, why do you think I have going on in my property all of these environmental recovery processes? Why do you think I spend a lot of my time invested in that? I even have one person who helps me with that, Brendan. He's pretty much helping all the time he works with me. He's pretty much helping me with that. Why do you think I do that? Because I feel that I need to correct the damage that I've done.
So you're still in the process of 100% loving? Or you've gone there, you're already there.
Once you deal with all these feelings, you'll be motivated to do everything you can to fix up the damage you've done to the environment.
Yeah.
Personally. And you won't blame other people for that. You'll do it yourself. You'll do everything you can. Right? That's what happens when you no longer want to sin and you want to be loving all the time. You do everything you can to fix up the problem. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So that's why I'm involved in doing that every day. Every day it's part of my task. Every day. I ate heaps of meat when I was younger. 5 times a day.
Yeah.